Hint of Love was really slow to get going, but after about the halfway mark, I actually found that it was quite enjoyable, and I am pretty happy to recommend this. This was released in 2020, directed by Kevin Fair, written by John Dion, and stars Debs Howard as our protagonist Becky, and we also have Dennis Andres as Will. Becky edits, she works for a publishing company, she edits cookery books. She herself is a great cook, but she focuses more on the actual editorial of these books, and she's working with this father called Will, who is creating a book aimed at single fathers. The recipes are supposed to be interesting but child-friendly and not too time-consuming. Becky is not a fan of this. She wants fresh ingredients. She wants to slow cook things. And there's a little bit of animosity between them. And I have to say, as we watch their working relationship develop, there is obviously a will they, won't they theme going on here. She really annoyed me because she just did not get it. And she came off as a culinary snob. I find it really odd that as a professional publisher or editor, she did not grasp the audience of Will's book. And I feel it odd that somebody who was... There was a potential that she'd be up for promotion or partner or progressing in her career. And yet she wasn't able to grasp the concept of Will's book and who the audience was and how to create recipes for that audience. And that's something that sat really uneasily with me, as it felt unrealistic. Somebody at Becky's level in her career would be aware of the importance of creating copy for the target audience, and she just wasn't. And for me as a writer and editor, that really bugged me. But that's not the only bad thing about the first half of this, because obviously she does go through some character development and she begins to realise certain things, as does Will. I'm not saying that Will has all of the answers as the chef, but I just feel like it was all back and forth, and she had too many kind of differing opinions of, yes, she liked this person, she didn't like this person, she recommended this cookery book, but at the same time she didn't, and it was just all over the place. But finally, once the characters started to go through some decent development, at about the halfway mark, it's an hour and a half, so we're talking maybe 45 minutes in, she finally became likeable. And as she became likeable, it became easier to invest emotionally in the narrative and to develop, I guess, desires for where I wanted the narrative to go and what I hoped the outcomes would be. And in some ways it's very predictable, but the intricacies of the narrative are not. So, yep, I could kind of say how I thought this would end. I won't say. But there were certain developments in the plot that were quite fresh, and even towards the end, things were pretty unclear as to what the future of this cookbook would be. So once it got going, once it established itself, it did alright. I did really like Dennis Andres as Will. I thought the character was great. I'm not sure why necessarily the book had to be aimed at single fathers rather than single parents. Why limit your audience to just single fathers when, single mothers could also benefit? So again, just speaking as a professional writer-editor, so many things about this really irritated me. But pushing that aside, it's alright. It's not bad. If you like cheesy, cliche rom-coms with at least one decent character, where there is a main focus on cooking or baking, I'd say it's worth it. I do like the fact that it's about a cookery book. Usually these kind of things are about somebody opening a restaurant or about a cafe that's struggling. The fact that it's actually about a book, for me, well, it irritated me a lot, but I also liked it. I don't know if that makes much sense. Hopefully it does. But I enjoyed certain aspects of it. Certainly it's not the worst film I've ever seen. I watched it on Amazon Prime, and once you push past the first half, it's pretty decent. I'm certainly happy to recommend it.